Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of MetraAV Tech Tips Solutions. I'm your host today, Adam Rogers, and I'm here today to talk about one of the things that we talked about this last Wednesday, which of course everyone knows already that our Friday episodes, of course, is where we talk about our actual products that we have to sell that kind of correlate to whatever we talked about on Wednesday. And of course, this last Wednesday, we talked about the importance of terminations. And we had some really fun with or at least I had some fun with it anyways, where we got to show you through a microscope what happens to the terminations or to the ends of these things when you use specific tools to cut them. And so we talked about the fiber kit and the importance of using the cleaver before you feed the end of that into whatever termination you're using with it, whether it be an LC or an LC or an SC connector. And so the importance of doing that, just because of how much of a difference it makes if you're using the scissors and it makes kind of a crushed or jagged edge on it versus using the cleaver, which gives you a nice perpendicular even cut across the fiber. And so today what I wanted to do was show you our fiber kit that we have. It's available now. Reach out to your sales rep or your distributor for pricing and availability on it. But it's great because if you are new to doing fiber, or you're curious about it, you haven't decided if you are ready to break into that side of the market yet or not, our recommendation is do it. Honestly, we're at the point now where copper is going to be still the standard for a really long time. However, fiber is one of those things that you want to go ahead and run inside the building or inside the house or whatever it is you're working on, and have it there for in the future, because the bandwidth requirements that we're seeing, regardless of video, I mean, I know video has been increasing in bandwidth requirements and everything for quite a while, but even just regular data transmissions, if you're doing something like browsing the internet, playing video games or anything like that, your bandwidth requirements are increasing dramatically, and that's where the fiber is going to come in and really be able to cover that bandwidth requirement. And so we wanted to get you familiar with the fiber kit that we have. These are the actual tools that you will use, or that you'll need in order to terminate fiber, especially our bulk fiber that we sell here, through the house in that setup. And so I'm going to go ahead and jump right in, and we'll show you what we have going on. Of course, as always, like, share, subscribe, hit that little bell notification to let you know whenever we do go live, which of course is every Wednesday and Friday at 3 p.m. And then also like it and like this video and share it out to anyone who you know that is curious about fiber and they want to potentially add that to their repertoire of tools. Go ahead and get that over to them as well. So let's go ahead and get a top-down shot, and you all can see what we have available in this kit. Let's see, there we go on that. All right, so this is the kit here. It comes in a nice little hard shell case for that comes with all the tools inside. Nice clips and everything on it. Little bottom and backing here. Go ahead and open this side of it on here. So inside we've got the little pull foam pieces. We pre-did this before we sent it out to you because it's specifically designed for the tools that we have in this kit here. But it's nice because it keeps everything secure and it gives it a home. That's one of the important things of a toolbox, is that things have a home to go back to. So it's not necessarily that they need protection. However, equipment like this, like the cleaver, definitely should have some kind of protection in there. But it's really just to give it a home for it to go back to. So we'll go clockwise on this, and we'll talk about what's in here, starting here in the top. This is the cleaver. And so in the cleaver blue box here, what you'll find is the cleaver tool itself. You'll also find the blue guide that comes with the kit as well. This is what we recommend using. When you use this system, or when you first get this kit, you'll find that the black guide will already be installed on the cleaver itself. In fact, it'll be right in this position, right about here, and it will be fully inserted and installed in that position. There's a little screw that holds it in place. So one of the first things that we recommend is actually taking that out. For our fiber terminations that we use, that one's not necessary. In fact, we recommend using the blue one instead. But the blue one's pretty straightforward. It sits in basically the same spot. It's not secured in place because you're actually going to use your hand to hold this in place. And I can show you what that looks like here. We'll take that out. You're going to put the guide in place like that, and underneath of here there's this little opening here, this little gap space. You're just going to use your hand and your thumb to kind of hold that in place. And so you can see I've got a good grip on it. I don't have to worry about this going anywhere. And by having my thumb on top of this, when I do have a piece of fiber in there, I'm holding it in place and I'm guiding it in. And so of course with this here we have a nice waste bin here on the end, so any of your leftover remnants of the fiber, when you do cleave it, they can fall directly into the bin. Again, this is glass that you're terminating, so make sure that you keep that closed whenever you're not using it, and we do recommend disposing of the contents of it periodically, so you don't wind up with a mess if it does tip over on accident. So that's the cleaver, so we'll go ahead and get that out of the way there. It does come with a little instruction pamphlet, as well as a couple tools that will allow you to adjust the different parts and pieces for it. For instance, the cleaving wheel that's inside, you can rotate that. You can also change the depth and the height of the cleaving wheel as well inside of it, and that's where those tools will come in and be used for that system there. Let's see, we'll go ahead and get that out of the way. Put it back into its little case. Okay. Now, where I have put this piece is actually below where the cleaver goes. Down in here, this is your SC to LC adapter. And what this does is it has little adapter pieces on either end to just simply convert the connection from an LC to an SC connection. Now, this connection here is important because the VFL, or the visual fault locator, which we'll get to here in just a second, is only an is an SC type connection on it. So you'll use this to actually verify your connections to make sure that you've done your termination correctly. That's where this comes into play. So this is a really important tool to have. All of these tools we do sell separate, so if you do find that one gets broken or gets worn out, you can go ahead and buy a replacement if you need to. Or if you already have a kit that just needs to be updated, let us know. We can go ahead and find some parts and pieces for you for some tools. From there, we have our Kevlar scissors. So the Kevlar scissors, pretty straightforward. It's a pair of scissors that's specifically designed to cut through the Kevlar strands of the fiber, of the bulk fiber. So inside of the bulk fiber, you have this pull string that's inside of there that's made out of Kevlar, and these scissors here are designed specifically for that purpose. They have a little bit of a jagged edge to them. Jagged's the wrong term for it, but it's like a serrated edge that actually winds up working to catch the glass or the fiber inside, so it doesn't slide. It'll kind of stop it and hold it in place. Now, if you watched this last Wednesday's episode, we showed you what it looked like when we cut the fiber just with this versus when we did it with the cleaver. So you'll know the importance of not finishing with these scissors, but instead this is what you use along the way. But these are really great for that purpose. Again, scissors, they do have a cutting edge, and that cutting edge does get dull after time. So if you do need these replaced, let us know. We can, of course, find you some replacements as well, and they are available by themselves. From there, we have our fiber strippers. Now, the fiber strippers here are specifically designed to be used with our bulk fiber. With this design here, ours is set up in a way that we have 3 trim portions, or 3 stripping locations. So we have the one on the furthest out point, one in the middle, and then one in the closest point inside here. And of course, all that does is it allows us to strip the different parts of the jacket and the shielding for the bulk fiber. And so this one has been set up specifically to be used with ours, so all the tolerances are set for that. However, if you do find the need to get those tolerances tightened in just a little bit more, there is an Allen key that goes along with this tool here. And so on this piece right here in the middle, on that piece right there, if you turn it to its side, there's a little tiny opening that you'll slide this into, and that will allow you to modify that tolerance for that as well. So really good tool for that. Keep in mind that over time you may need to adjust those tolerances, but you do have the tool for that. I like to put mine right here in the case in between some of the little pull-out foam. It's a good spot for that. Next, we have our visual fault locator. So the visual fault locator, the way that this works, I'm going to move this out of the way so it's a little bit easier to see. It comes in a nice little handy pouch to keep it nice and safe. From here, we have the end of it, and so my batteries are actually dead on this one. It's been a little while since I've used it. But essentially what would happen is that you would take the end of the fiber that you've terminated with the SC or an LC adapter on it, and you're going to feed it onto the end of this here. And when you turn it on, light's going to shine out of this, and it's going to allow you to see whether or not you've terminated your fiber correctly, or if there's light bleeding through. And of course, if there's light bleeding through, you're not going to get the kind of data pass through that you're supposed to be getting with it. It has a constant on version. It also has a glint version. So what this is, so if you go in the middle, that's going to be your off. If you go up, that's going to be where the light is on and it just continues to shine. Or if you go down to the bottom, there's a glint function. You can see that a little bit better there. The glint function's nice because if you have multiple people terminating at the same time on one site, one person can use the constant and one can use the glint in order to say, okay, the solid one is the one that I'm working on, the glint one is the one that you are working on, so I'm not going to terminate yours and you're not going to terminate mine. That way you know who's working on what. And so of course you got a nice little dust cap to close over top of that to keep it nice and safe. So we'll put that in there. It is powered by 2 AA batteries. And so if we just unscrew this, we'll find that we've got 1 AA battery and we've got 2 AA batteries in there. And I believe it, I don't know for sure, but I believe it does come with 2 AA batteries in the kit. If it does not, of course, you'll have to go out and pick up some AA batteries for it, but you may want to double check that. Again, reach out to your sales rep and or your distributor to find out availability and pricing on the kit or on the individual tools and parts from this kit. So it's a good stuff to have. All right, and then lastly is actually a location in here. The kit does not come with the actual terminations, but it does kind of come with a little space to put them in here. Again, we kind of pulled out that spot so you can put it in there. This is the 10-pack of the SC connectors. There's also a 10-pack of the LC connectors. And on both of these, you actually will have the different measurements for when you have to strip the fiber. And then it gives you a nice little plate and little spot to put them into, so you can always have terminations inside of your kit. So everyone, that is the fiber kits. The CS-FBRKIT is the part number for that. It's available now. Reach out to your sales rep or your distributor to find out pricing on it. And whether or not you can order it right away or if you need to wait a little bit for shipping. But it's a great piece to have if you are first getting into fiber. We're really happy with it. It does really well. We actually have an HDMI over fiber extender, and we use this kit all the time whenever we are building our displays for it, or when we're doing different testing and of that piece there as well. And it's a great little entry into the fiber setup. So definitely, like I said, reach out to your sales rep, reach out to your distributor, find out availability and pricing on it. Go ahead and pick up yours today as quick as possible if you're going to get into it. And if you have any questions about this, let us know. Of course, you can contact me here. It's 386-492-8584 is our tech support number. Or you can email me directly at adam.rogers@MetraAV.com. And I'll be more than happy to help you out with this. We're happy to do some, maybe some video conferencing to go through and show you how to do it for the first time, but it's really easy to get into. In fact, you can find that I find a lot of people are actually getting faster at doing fiber terminations than even doing an RJ45. So it's a great setup. Definitely check it out. And if you need more information about it, reach out to your sales rep or give us a call and we'll be happy to talk to you about it. So as always, everybody, thank you so much for joining me today. And we are looking forward to seeing you next time. Next week, we're joined by a special guest, Ben Imami, and I apologize if I pronounced that incorrectly. From ProLux LED lighting. We're going to be talking about LED systems in a home and some pitfalls or some things to look out for when you're doing an installation for LEDs, because even though they're not drawing as much power as, say, an incandescent light, it's still drawing power, and we still have to worry about the distance that we're going with those LEDs. So come back next Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern time, where we'll be live talking with Ben at that time, and we'll be going over some different things to do for the LED setup. So as always, everybody, don't forget, reboot early, reboot often, don't cut your wires too short, turn off CEC, and call tech support. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time. Good luck to you.